Any audio now?
Roy, can you hear us now?
Test. Oh, there we go. It looks like we've got some computer audio. Someone could let us know, that would be great. Now, Mike, this is frozen. No audio, Rob?
No. Now it's on.
No, but it was on before, too. Test, test, test. We're having audio problems here.
There we go.
There we go. The audio.
We just upgraded the computer, and we're going to have a
audio has
one-man
been
retweet.
Audio has been returned. There we go. I can hear you clearly. Thank you very much for your feedback. Robert Crowder is my name, and Mike Ignatz. Mike Ignatz is on the left-hand side. He saved us there. Mike is our moderator today, and it's funny, he doesn't look like he does right now in that picture because he's got his Halloween costume on. Anyways, we're excited. I'll just do a real quick recap. Welcome to the Benefits Trust. Welcome to our webinar today. We want to take this opportunity to thank you very much for participating. Should you, or at the end of the session today, you will receive a very short survey. You will also receive, in addition to the short survey, an opportunity to give us feedback on future subjects that you'd like to see covered in webinars, because we want to make these of value to you. As well as that, you're going to receive a CE certificate for participating today, so thank you very much. My name is Rob Crowder. I'm the guy on the right-hand side. Mike Ignatz on the left. He's our moderator, and he fixes things when things go awry like they just did. So thank you very much, and Mike's also going to be chiming in from time to time throughout the session today. So today we're going to talk about common benefit problems. One of the things I forgot to mention, if you've got 8 or 10 people or more in your office and you'd like us to come out and do a seminar for you or a lunch and learn, we would be happy to do so. Just give us a call and we'd be happy to set that up. Today we're going to talk about common benefit problems, and it was interesting going back in time a little bit, late last year, early this year. We did a survey among the many thousands of brokers that we have on our database, and one of the things that we asked is what are your most common benefit plan problems, and we got a series of different benefit plan problems back, a series of feedback back. So this is number one of a 3-part series. This webinar is number one of a 3-part series. So we're going to talk about common benefit problems and the 3 biggest problems today, and we're going to really sort of look at them under the microscope so you can get an in-depth idea on what's going on with respect to these 3 particular problems. So the agenda today is talking about what are the changes in the stop-loss market, what changes in the stop-loss market or the large amount pooling market mean to you. So what's going on in that stop-loss marketplace and what that means to you as a professional insurance advisor. The second thing is we're going to talk about how to combat large or small premium increases. And this was a pretty, we got a lot of response about this. Is, you know, a lot of brokers are sitting there, we got a tiny increase or no increase, or we got a huge increase, and you know, how do we deal with that? So we want to really delve into those types of problems. And the third thing is, the third topic that we wanted to discuss today is how planning ahead can keep clients sustainable. And it's interesting, we're seeing, we're hearing stories anyways of a lot of clients getting frustrated and they're signing AORs or they're signing marketing letters. And I think if with a little bit of planning ahead, you can really circumvent that type of change. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to look at this from 3 perspectives as well. We're going to look at it from your client's perspective. We're going to look at it from the provider's perspective, from the insurance company, TPA, etc. And we're going to look at it from your perspective, the producer. So we're really going to look at these 3 different issues from these 3 different perspectives. And it's really all about a combination of profit, risk, and loss. And everybody's got to be profitable in the relationship. Everybody's got to understand the risk in the relationship, and everybody's got to prevent loss in the relationship. So I think that's how we're going to look at it as well in today's presentation. First of all, the marketplace. The marketplace is absolutely enormous. When we look at the GTA, and when we look at that golden horseshoe, if you look, you know, down from St. Catharines, Niagara area, all the way up to Kitchener and Guelph, and then over to Oshawa, that Toronto and Golden Horseshoe area, the marketplace is absolutely enormous, and there are thousands upon thousands upon thousands of businesses in that particular marketplace. Today we're focusing on kind of the smaller end of this marketplace, not the micro end. We've already done webinars on that. We're going to continue to do webinars on that for that 1 and 2 person group, and how we've got a great solution for that. But today we're focusing on more of that true group, but really the smaller end of the marketplace, specifically that 3 to 103 employee size. They're successful business owners, or successful businesses per se. And again, it's that smaller end of the marketplace. And the studies that we've done suggest that in that golden horseshoe, there's really 50,000 plus businesses that meet that criteria of 3 to 103 employees and are successful. And when I say successful, they've been in business more than 5 years. So there's an exciting opportunity out there, folks. There's 50,000 prospects in this particular target market, where many of you that are participating in today's call are certainly working. And when you've got an endless number of prospects, you can be as busy as you want. So there aren't really any excuses of I don't have anything to do, because there's just enough people to talk to. And if you talk to enough people, you're going to get your share of business and share of keeping your business. So exciting opportunities ahead in the benefits world, especially in this marketplace. A benefit plan, a benefit plan is nothing more than a promise between an employer and an employee. And it's important to use that word promise, because it's interesting when you're dealing with an entrepreneurial business. When you look at a promise, this particular guy in the forefront here is making a promise to the 12 or 15 people behind him. And it's a promise that he or she makes, and he or she has complete control over. And, it's interesting looking back in time when benefit plans were all very, very similar. There wasn't much creativity and excitement going on. But all of a sudden, with the evolution of TPAs and custom benefit plan designs out in the marketplace, you're talking to this guy a little bit differently. You're talking to this business owner a little bit differently. You're talking to them about customized solutions, because they want to be able to promise something different than maybe their competition does or the business next door does. So a benefit plan is nothing more than a promise between an employer and a group of employees. That promise can be different for different groups of employees. They can be large boxes or small boxes or boxes anywhere in between, and they can have different dollar amounts associated with them. So we don't often think that, or we got to stop thinking about a benefit plan being 80% reimbursement with a maximum of $1,500 for dental. You can do a whole bunch of different things and have different promises to different groups of people within your organization, or more specifically within your client's organization. So when we think about a custom benefit solution, we're thinking about different size promises for different groups, and depending on what their needs are. It's interesting. I was out with a broker and a client yesterday afternoon, and this particular company that we've been dealing with for many, many years now, probably close to 20 years, and we had a good chat with the owner of the business. We've been dealing with them for close to 20 years. They started off and they had, I think, about 8 or 9 employees, and the business owner asked us if we would help him, asked us if we would do him a favor. And 20 years later, we're still doing business together. Their benefit plan has grown from 10 or 12 employees or 8 or 10 employees, whatever it was at the time. We were kind of reminiscing about this yesterday, to over 100 today. But the interesting thing about their benefit plan is they don't have any life insurance. They don't have any AD&D insurance. They don't have any critical illness insurance. They don't have any long-term disability insurance. And they don't have any they don't have any out-of-country emergency travel coverage, because that's the type of promise that they want to offer their employees for a very strategic reason. So it's really interesting. You can have whatever type of benefit plan that you want. So let's get into the common benefit problems that we're talking about here, because we got to wrap up in 50 minutes time. So let's get into the meat of this. The common benefit problems are stop loss, large amount pooling. This is the number one thing that's on people's minds. And it's interesting. I serve on a committee for KALU, and this was a discussion that we're going to have at a KALU breakfast in May in Ottawa. And we're talking about risk management and stop loss, and where we're going with that, and what types of conversations you're having with your clients with respect to risk management and stop loss. And it's a big topic, and it's important as brokers that you get a real good handle on this, because people that are having these discussions are winning business, and winning business all over the place. And people that are not having these discussions are losing business. So it's important to understand stop loss inside and out. It's important to understand, in my opinion, what the options are, and to have the risk management discussions with your client. So when we're talking about stop loss or large amount pooling, we're talking about to protect what? What are we using stop loss for? And it's interesting, a lot of people think it's there to protect the insurance company, but it's really not. It's there to protect the integrity of the promise against catastrophic, sudden, unexpected events. So stop loss or large amount pooling is used to protect the integrity of the promise that the employer is making to the employee against catastrophic, sudden, unexpected events. It's interesting when you look at it from that perspective. I'm making a promise as an employer to all of my employees. And here at the Benefits Trust, we've got, I don't know, 25 or 30 employees, and I'm making them a benefit plan promise that says we're going to cover them for their prescription drugs. And if all of a sudden one of those drugs is $100,000 a year, I've got to keep that promise to that employee. I'm going to give them $100,000 a year for reimbursement for their particular drugs, and I'm not going to have enough money left over to pay everybody else or to continue everybody else's benefits. So I'd have to cancel it. But if I've got the proper risk management tools in place or stop loss, it's there to protect the integrity of the promise so it continues into perpetuity, just like my business ultimately is going to continue into perpetuity. So stop loss is there to protect the employer and the promise that the employer is making to the employees. So it's important to understand that as a foundation to further the discussion on risk management. Stop loss is there to protect the employer against the catastrophic, sudden, unexpected events, specifically on the promises that he's making his employees. Is this new? Well, stop loss is new. So the answer is yes. It's certainly new in the last 10 years. We weren't having these discussions 10 or 12 or 15 years ago. And when we were, the cost of the stop loss was so minute, it wasn't even an issue. But today, it's becoming more of an issue. It's the number one issue. And just like all insurance products, as claims increase, so does the cost, so does the premium costs. When we look at life insurance and when we look at life insurance tables, we've got actuarial tables that go back for literally probably 100 years. So the underwriters are very good at predicting number of deaths, and occasionally there's little blips and anomalies, but over a long period of time there isn't. But stop loss, that's not the case. It's a relatively new phenomenon. It's something that's been around for less than 10 years or so, or around 10 years. And in addition to that, there's new drugs that are coming onto the marketplace every single week, it seems like, that could be potentially significant in price. So when we look at stop loss and we look at that as an insurance product, just like all insurance product, as claims increase, so does the cost. We've seen a huge increase in claims over the last little while, and as a result of that, easily prices have doubled in the last 5 years, and this trend is going to continue. I think they're going to double again in the next 5 years. So you're going to see 20, 25, 30, 35% increases over the next couple of years, year over year over year. So prices are rising. Fasten your seatbelt. They're going to continue to rise. And the fact of the matter is, these prices are obviously going to be passed on to your clients. And if you're not having these discussions, it's going to be a problem. So you've got to have these risk management discussions with your clients and understand the stop loss. That's why it's important. This number used to be minute, and it was just sort of a throw-in type of thing. Now it's a significant cost to their employee benefit program, and it's important to understand where these costs are going and what they're doing to give your clients good advice. So it's important to have that risk management discussion with your client of saying, hey, if you may have an employee benefit program that looks like this, you've got to have the appropriate protection in place, or you've got to change that risk management. So really, it's about the future, and it's about having future-based discussions with your clients as opposed to reactive-based discussions saying, oh, we got a big increase this year, so we better cut benefits next year. Yeah, that's not really good. You want to have a future-based discussion with your clients with respect to risk management. So what can clients do about this? Well, they can pay the increase in cost. If they have a benefit plan that that includes drugs, and they want to have an unlimited drug benefit, they can pay the increase in cost. The cost is going to go up. It's going to go up significantly over the next couple of years, and they just have to pay the piper. It's as simple as that. Or they can limit the plan design with drug caps and restricted formularies. So they can limit the plan design with drug caps and restricted formularies. Drug caps are very simple. Put a $2,000 max or a $5,000 max on your drug plan, or you can put in a restricted formulary. And this is something that's relatively new in the last 24 months with respect to certainly what we're doing to really combat the risks that are out there. So restricted formularies. We've got two restricted formularies that are available, Formulary Protect and Formulary Protect Plus. So the Formulary Protect transfers the risk from the benefit plan to the provincial government plan for drugs that are available. So it's quite simple. All of a sudden, if there's a drug that's going to be, and the trigger that we use is $10,000 or more, if there's a drug available from the provincial formulary that's available on the Trillium program here in Ontario, and the formulary suggests, or the formulary stipulates, that as soon as that one of those drugs that's been identified in advance hits the marketplace, so to speak, or hits the claimant, so to speak, what we are going to do is to say that drug is not covered under the benefit plan. It's going to be covered under the provincial plan, and the employee or the family member automatically has to go to the Trillium program. So that's called Formulary Protect. And then that works extraordinarily well, and it just transfers the risk from the benefit plan to the provincial government when we're all paying taxes as Ontarians on that particular plan. So it takes advantage of the government program that's available. The Formulary Protect Plus plan, if the coverage is not available under the provincial plan, then the claim comes back to the employer-sponsored plan, and that's called Formulary Protect Plus. So if you got any drugs that are $10,000 a year or more, they're going to be covered under the provincial programs. And if they're not covered under that provincial program, then what would happen is they'd come back to the employer program as the last payer, and that's Formulary Protect Plus. So yes, it's a little bit more cumbersome perhaps than just presenting your drug card, but you're transferring the risk for a lot of these expensive drugs to the government programs that are available. Another opportunity is putting in pre-ex clauses. Pre-existing condition clause on an employee benefit program, and more specifically, a pre-existing condition clause on a drug plan. And this has turned out to be an incredibly powerful benefit that when brokers really get a hold of, there's an opportunity there, an opportunity for them to separate themselves from their competition. So what is a pre-ex clause on a drug benefit? Well, as I like to say, it's not buying claims for new employees, for example, or their families. They'd be limited to $2,500 in year one. So one of the things as an employer, you can't ask questions about you can ask the potential employee about a number of things, but you certainly can't ask questions about their health. You can't ask questions about their family's health. So all of a sudden, I've got a new employee coming in, and that employee might be, at the new $15 an hour minimum wage, and they're eligible for benefits after 3 years of continued work, or 3 months of continued work, pardon me, and that's great. But I don't know anything about themselves or about their family. So all of a sudden, this $30,000 a year person or $40,000 a year person comes into my business. After 3 months of continuous employment, they join the benefit plan. Then they start putting in claims, and those claims might be $50,000 or $100,000, and the plan blows up, and the cost of the stop loss blows up, and everything blows up. And this is a brand new employee that I might be paying $30,000 or $40,000 a year for. So what we say is, hey, if you put in a pre-existing condition clause, you're not buying claims for new employees or their families because you're limiting it to $2,500 in year one. And if they have claims that exceed $2,500 in any year, in year one, they'd be limited to $2,500 for the rest of their tenure in this particular plan. So it allows employers to protect the integrity of their promise against catastrophic unexpected events, but by utilizing this pre-ex clause, it allows them to protect against unknown factors for certainly new employees. So it's a very, very powerful benefit that can be put in place very simply, and it's all about that risk management discussion that one would be having with their employers, their clients. It's important to note the pre-ex clause, and the purpose of the pre-ex clause is to protect the integrity of the promise and protect the employer, not necessarily the employee. It's to protect the employer and the integrity of that promise so it can continue into perpetuity. And again, this is a huge selling feature and a huge broker advantage for those that are taking advantage of it. And we've got a number of people that are certainly taking advantage of it. And I haven't met an employer yet where this doesn't make sense for. I haven't met an employer yet when you explain this and this doesn't make sense for. Incidentally, to the best of my knowledge, not many people are offering this benefit. None of the insurance companies are offering this benefit, where you've got a pre-existing condition clause on a stop loss benefit or a drug benefit. It's a powerful benefit. Any of these options can be adopted or set up by class of employees. So, for example, you can have a benefit plan that has 3 different levels of benefits. And the executive plan, maybe the 1 or 2 or 3 people in that executive plan, they're going to have the stop loss. They're going to have an unlimited employee benefit program with an unlimited drug benefit. They're going to have the stop loss, and the employer is prepared to pay for the risk. Management, key people, they're going to have a pre-existing condition clause, and they're going to have the Formulary Protect Plus benefit, for example. So all of a sudden, any new people that join the management team, they're going to have a pre-existing condition clause on the first year of their benefits. Any claims that exceed, for example, $2,500, they'd be limited to that. But if they don't have any claims, then they're fine. Then they're going to utilize the Formulary Protect Plus program, and the employees are just going to simply have a $5,000 drug cap. Excuse me. So you can set up your benefit plan and have these risk management discussions and set it up for different groups within the group to have the most appropriate solution for each of these different groups. So these are just examples of what it is that we can do. And the best part about this is, yes, we can do this for a 6-person group. We can do it for a 3-person group. It doesn't matter. It's entirely up to you. We provide custom employee benefit plan solutions, and this can be done for your groups. Brokers that are having these discussions and having these risk management discussions are having extraordinary results. And they're securing their clients for many years to come, and they're creating a great deal of value. Something we can certainly talk to you about offline if you want more information about it. We'd be happy to provide this to you and give you tools on how to start these discussions. So again, the most important thing is large amount pooling and stop loss is there to protect the integrity of the promise that the employer is making against catastrophic, sudden, unexpected events. So we've talked about large amount pooling. Let's talk about how to combat large or small premium increases. Excuse me, I remember talking to a broker not too long ago, and he was saying he's not looking forward to January because they have a lot of clients that renew in January. So this is his busy time of the year because he's got to do a number of renewals prior to the 1st of January, and often there's significant increases, and he doesn't know what to do about it. He's not always does not look forward to this time of the year, and it's a shame when you have to go through life like that. But really, so what we want to do is talk about techniques on how to combat large or small premium increases. When we're talking about large increases, when you walk in with a large increase, your client looks to you, somewhat like this, like, what is going on? Are you kidding me? And it's interesting because, it's too late at that point. The client says, well, what happened? What can we do about this? Oh my gosh, we got a 20% or a 30% or a 50% increase. What happened? What can we do about it? Well, you can do a number of things. You can pay the price. You can shop the market, negotiate with the existing insurance company. Shop the market, go out to market, see if you can get a little bit of a reduction. But ultimately, you're going to pay the price. The other thing you can do is certainly look at cutting benefits. Simple as that. You can say, hey, great. Well, going forward, we can't increase we can't have we can't pay this increase, this 30% increase, so we're going to have to cut benefits. The most we can afford is a 10% increase, so we're going to have to cut benefits. The other opportunity is increase the cost sharing. Simple as that. Increase the cost sharing that the employee is participating in. Hey, great, we're going to, instead of them just paying for long-term disability, we're going to have them pay for long-term disability and 50% of the dental benefits and 50% of the health, or we're going to make everybody pay, every family pay for their particular difference between single and family. We're going to increase the cost sharing. Regardless of what it is the average broker's out there saying, you're painting yourself into a corner. You're saying, hey, great, let's cut costs, let's cut benefits, let's increase cost sharing, but you're just painting yourself into a corner. You're not dealing with the real issue. And it becomes, somewhat negative because your clients are looking at you and the employees in that organization are looking at you, with their bag over their head. They're saying, hey, you know what? You're just bad news that comes in with a briefcase once a year. Uh-oh, here comes the insurance guy. Yep, bad news. he's gonna raise our costs every single year. And when you try to sell the other employees other life insurance products or um, family estate planning needs and so on, they're looking at you somewhat negatively. As I like to say, you're expecting to fail when you walk into a meeting like this. You're expecting to be told off. You've got a loss of confidence, and this isn't any way to operate. Well, what happens when you've got a small premium increase? All of a sudden you walk in and you go, hey, good news, we only have a 2% increase or a 1% increase or a 0% increase, flat costs. Well, the client still looks at you like, are you kidding me? WTF, what's going on here? You can't please this guy. And I just absolutely love walking into a meeting when I hear a broker saying your plan is running well. Your plan is running well and there's no increase this year. Your plan is running well and you got a 1% increase this year. Your plan is running well. I've negotiated a small decrease in your benefit costs. This is a way to hang yourself, in my opinion. This is a way to hang yourself for that successful business owner, because he or she is he or she is a successful business owner. They buy value, and when there's no or little change in premium, they felt they paid way too much, and they felt they paid way too much over the last year or two. So successful business owners that buy value are looking at you like you've got two heads, and again, expecting to fail, expecting to be told off, loss of confidence. It's important for employers to pay the right price at the right time and communicate that effectively. When they're paying too little or too much, when the increase is too little or the increase is too much, it's not a good situation. So it's about the future, and it's about education. How do we combat small and large increases? We don't have them. It's as simple as that. It's about educating people about their benefit plan, and it's educating people about what's going to happen in the future. And the fact of the matter is, businesses do not like surprises. I don't think people like surprises that much. And I'm not talking about a gift at Christmas or your birthday or a Halloween candy or something. We're talking about surprises. We're talking about a significant increase in the cost of your benefit plan, or having realized that you've overpaid and you haven't bought value. Those are surprises that business owners don't like to have. It's as simple as that. It's like you sitting on an airplane and you're flying on a vacation down to Punta Cana, or you're flying on a vacation down to Florida, or you're flying over to Paris, and you bought your ticket and you paid $750 for it, and you think that's terrific. And then all of a sudden you're sitting beside someone and you strike up a conversation with them, and you find out that they bought their ticket from a discounted thing that they found online and they paid $450 for it. You don't like those kind of surprises. You don't like those surprises at all. And that's it's the same type of thing when we're talking about benefits. So in my opinion, education and about the future and about surprises and eliminating surprises, it's really all about communication. It's very simple. It's all about communication. And it's about you being a valuable part of the equation as the broker, and it's about you being an important part of the equation and communicating effectively with all of your clients. And you do that, in my opinion, through blogging, through email interactions, through telephones, through contacts with them, meetings with them, and the relationship that you have with them. All clients are different. It's interesting, over the years we've had thousands of clients, and some of them want to be contacted once a year, but they want to get the information on a monthly basis, but they don't want to be bothered. Other people, you want to see them a couple of times a year and have a face-to-face meeting with them, because that's the type of people they are, pardon me. Other people like to go golfing and skiing, and other people like to go out for dinner and lunches. And other clients, they never want to hear from you. They never want to hear from you other than getting the information that they need to have on their dashboard so they know what's going on. So it's really interesting, but it's about understanding how the client likes to be communicated to and communicating to them on a regular basis with the most appropriate information. As I like to say, and I love to use this analogy, here's the cockpit of a commercial aircraft, and this is the new Boeing 777, I believe, when I found this picture. And there's a lot of dials and bells and whistles and toggle switches and so on. And that pilot, the guy that's sitting, or the person, pardon me, that's sitting in the front left seat, is responsible for quite a few hundred souls on board, as well as a piece of equipment that's worth $100 million or whatever the value of the plane is, and all the things inside of it. And they're responsible for getting that plane from point A to point B in a profitable, safe manner, or safe and profitable manner. And when we think about this, that pilot is nothing more than he's acting like a business owner in the sense of he's looking at all of the bells and whistles that make sense for him in the task that he or she is performing on that day, on that week, on that month, in that year. And they're looking at the dashboard and what makes sense on their particular dashboard. Well, from a benefits perspective, one of the things that we do is we provide all of our clients and all of the brokers that we work with, who's has the corresponding client, a simple monthly report. And simple monthly report is the foundation that you can use to effectively communicate with your client, however it is that they want to be communicated with. But it gives you the tools or the answer that really shapes that communication style. And that monthly financial statement just is very simple. It's got 3 columns. It's what's happened on a particular month, month actual, year-to-date cumulative, and after 12 months, previous year-to-date cumulative. And it's interesting because this stuff is available sometimes not quite in this simple format, but some experience is available online from some of the various different insurance companies. But one of the things that's interesting is people don't look up stuff online. They want to just have this information. They want to have it in front of them. They want to look at it. They want to look at it quickly and then dismiss it. And again, depending on how the client likes to be communicated to, this is the foundation of that communication tool. But it shows right at the bottom line how they're doing in relation to their budget with respect to their benefit plan, whether they've got a surplus or whether they've got a deficit, and what can be done about that. So you're making decisions on an ongoing basis about the future of the employee benefit program, and you're not having any surprises because the client's well aware of them. The majority of meetings that I'm involved with that are renewal meetings that I work with brokers and end user clients on, the majority of the renewal meetings take less than 10 minutes because the client knows exactly what's going on. They know exactly their financial position, and they've already made a decision in their head on how they're moving forward. So it eliminates all surprises. So effective communication is the most important part, in my opinion, of a relationship. It's effective communication on an ongoing basis, so you've got that happy client, you've got that happy customer. You've got an unhappy customer when no one communicates, and no one communicates about what's happening in the future. When you're communicating on a monthly basis, when you're communicating on a regular basis, every single month, month in, month out, right, you've got a happy customer. So the question the next point on the agenda today is how do we keep planning, or how planning ahead can keep clients sustainable? How planning ahead keeps clients sustainable? Well, it's about having different conversations, and this really ties in with the other points that we've been making today. It's about having different conversations with your clients. It's about having risk management conversations with your clients. It's about having educational conversations with your clients. But it's about having really different conversations with your clients. And it's about educating your clients. It's about managing expectations. It's about communications. It's about paper trail. It's about leading your clients in a fashion that makes sense. Your role is the expert, and your role is to lead your clients to what it is that makes sense for them. So as I like to say, are you an order taker, right, or are you an expert? And it's interesting. It's a very different role. And when you're an order taker, you're very reactive. You walk into a client's place, and the client says, or the prospect says, we've got a benefit plan. Here's all the stuff. See if you can find it cheaper. Awesome order taking job. Well done. That's great, right? But if you're an expert, you're saying, terrific. Yeah, really don't work that way. We want to ask you some questions before we begin, before we decide if we're going to take on this project. So it's interesting. An expert looks at an interview from a two-way perspective. You're interviewing the client, and the client's interviewing you. But you both have to decide whether or not you want to do business together. I've dealt with a couple of people over the years where I have got no interest in doing business with them, and we've walked away from projects because we just simply do not gel. We don't get along. So you got to take an expert, in my opinion, taking an expert opinion it will help you make the client relationship sustainable and being that valued advisor and that trusted advisor. Remember, no two businesses are alike. You know, we are the Benefits Trust. There's no one else like us out there. There's no one else like you out there. There's no one else like Imperial Oil out there. Yes, Petro-Canada might be close in certain ways, in certain, when you look at it from a delivery perspective. What's the difference between an Esso station and a Petro-Canada station? I filled up the car last night with gas, and I had a choice between Petro-Canada and Esso. They look very similar to me. One has a Tim Hortons in it and one doesn't, but there are no two businesses are alike. Imperial Oil is vastly different than Petro-Canada. So no two businesses are alike. Sometimes, it's about dealing with the business and asking these great questions. And as I like to say, it's about asking future-based questions. And the best question that I found came from Dan Sullivan at the Strategic Coach. And it's quite simple. If we were meeting here 3 years from today, and I love to throw in a time because it crystallizes in people's minds. If we were meeting here 3 years from today, October 31st, 2020, they can see that number in their head, 2020. What has to have happened for you to say that this has been the best 3 years of my life? And it's interesting because you ask a question like that right out of the gate. So before, hey, Mr. Client, or Mr. Prospect, before we take the order, let me ask some questions. And if we were meeting here 3 years from today, what has to have happened for you to have the best 3 years of your life? You're going to get all sorts of answers back. But usually what's going to happen is if the client answers the questions, he's going to shut up. And you're going to shut up, pardon me, and he's going to talk for about 20 minutes. And then you have the client prioritize the answer or the answers. As you said, 3 things that you want to have happen over the next 3 years. Which one of those things is most important? Let's put them in a priority, or let's prioritize those answers. What's most important to you, and then what's second most important, and what's third most important? So it's a very powerful question, and it's getting the client to think about the future and where they're going in the future. And yes, we're talking about benefits. And then the best part about it is this gives you the foundation on how to report back frequently with their answers. So you're saying, hey, a couple of months ago when we met, you said this was most important. Geez, here's an answer that I thought you'd find interesting. It's reporting back frequently on their answers. And yes, we're talking about employee benefits. We're not talking about taking orders. We're talking about being an expert. These are the foundation of the future-based questions that you've got to have the meaningful discussion so you can communicate effectively with your clients about benefits. Some of the common answers we get when we ask these future-based questions is they go, you know what, I want a flexible and I want a value-added type of benefit plan. That's what they say. They want a flexible and value-added benefit plan. They want the appropriate protection in place so if something catastrophic happens, their people are covered and the integrity of the promise is going to continue into perpetuity. Here's the risk management discussion. They want to have price stabilization. Okay, there's a control question or control answer or a control discussion. Price stabilization. They don't want costs to go up. They want to be in control. So these are all sort of common questions. And yes, we're talking about benefits here. It's important to look through the client's eyes and their glasses to see their vision, and you do that by asking them future-based questions. And as I like to say, the conversation and the ongoing conversation is the relationship. I walked into, again, been doing this for many, many years. The Benefits Trust was established 25 years ago, and I've been doing this for 28 or 29 years. And I will still walk into businesses today. It blows my mind. I walk into businesses today where they never hear from their insurance agent. They never hear from their employee benefits consultant. They never hear from the person that's advising them, ever. Sometimes they don't even get notified when there's a change in their premium on the annual renewal. They're just forgotten about. The conversation that you have with your client and the conversations you have with your client is the relationship. Think about it. Think about how powerful your relationship is with your spouse. It's because you've got great conversations going on an ongoing basis. The relationship you have with your kids can be fantastic because you've got these ongoing conversations. It's when you don't have conversations, the relationship breaks down. So the relationship is the conversation, or the conversation is the relationship. So continue to have a conversation with your clients, but as I like to say, in a meaningful and effective manner, and do it on a regular basis. That doesn't necessarily mean you have to speak to them and, hey, how's the weather, and tell me about your sailing trip, or tell me about your kid's hockey game. I'm talking about effective communication. Some of the best relationships that I have with clients that we've been dealing with for many years is just because we communicate in a manner that they want to be communicated to on a monthly basis. So there's no need to have meaningless conversations. It's about having meaningful conversations, and that's the relationship. We help successful business owners build a better benefit plan than they can get anywhere else. It's as simple as that. So when you think about that, and a lot of brokers have really sort of jumped on this, they're going, hey, that's interesting. We help successful business owners. Yeah, well, people like help, number one. Everybody likes help. Everybody likes help. You like help with the dishes, certainly, don't you? After a Thanksgiving dinner, you like help with carrying heavy stuff, right? Everybody likes help with all sorts of things, right? But we help terrific successful business owners. Qualifying statement: there's two types of businesses: successful and unsuccessful. We help successful business owners build some type of a custom type of arrangement, better benefit plan. Oh, better benefit plan. Yeah, successful business owners always want something better. They're always looking to add value. Then they can get anywhere else. Exclusivity. So what is it that we do? We help successful business owners build a better benefit plan than they can get anywhere else. If you're having future-based conversations with your clients about customized solution and risk management, the Benefits Trust offers a great foundation to be able to solve some of those problems. Our process is very simple. Here's our only commercial in this particular webinar. Our process is very simple. Client makes a monthly contribution based on the customized promise that they are offering. We buy insurance where we need to buy insurance for catastrophic, sudden, unexpected events and protect the integrity of that promise so it continues into perpetuity. For life insurance, AD&D, long-term disability, stop-loss, critical illness, out of country, etc. We adjudicate and pay claim transactions just like the insurance companies do for health, dental, and sexually transmitted diseases. I mean, short-term disability, pardon me. So we pay those claim transactions, whether they have limits or co-insurances or maximums. We do it electronically. We do it via paper. We do it based on our app that's available on your smartphone. And our plan operation expenses are usually less than what the Main Street insurance companies are offering, and we provide all the plan operation administration services in our office, including paying producer compensation. We send you and the end user client a monthly financial statement, which can be used as the foundation for that tool to be able to communicate effectively with your clients on an ongoing basis. So our process is very simple. It works and works extraordinarily well and works for more than 1,500 clients on an ongoing basis. And these are sent out, again, on a monthly basis, both to you and the end user client. It's important to remember that when we're talking about large increases, when we're talking about small increases, when we're talking about stop loss and large amount pooling, and when we're talking about restricted formularies and we're talking about future-based discussions, is selling is engaging someone in a future result that's good for them. You're engaging someone in a future result that's good for them. Ask them that question. If we were sitting here 3 years from today, what has to have happened for you to say that this has been the best 3 years of your life? Let them answer, prioritize those answers, and then build a benefit plan that makes sense based on those answers, because you're engaging someone in a future result that's good for them. Business people, in my opinion, do business with business people. Be in business. It's as simple as that. Be in business, act like you're in business, be in business, and talk to business people as business people and ask them those wonderful future-based questions. So let's review real quick, because we are at 10:45. Stop loss is there to protect your client and the promise that they make. Stop loss is there not to protect the insurance company. It's there to protect your client and the promises that they make to their employees. It's there to protect the integrity of the promise so it can continue into perpetuity. Mike is a valuable employee of the Benefits Trust. I made a promise to him that his benefits are going to be there when he needs them and his children need them. If all of a sudden I hire somebody that I can't ask questions to, and 4 months after they've joined our organization, our benefit plan costs blow up because they brought a $100,000 problem, and I don't have the appropriate protection in place. That's going to be a problem for Mike, who's a valuable employee and been here many years, and I'm not going to be able to continue that promise. Stop loss or large amount pooling is there to protect the integrity of the promise so it continues into perpetuity. It's there to protect your client and the promises that they make. Simple as that. That's how you start that risk management discussion. Large and small premium increases, contribution increases, it's really all about effective communication. It's about managing expectations. It's about leading your client. It's about ongoing effective. Actually, Mike, we've got to make a note to change that. It's about ongoing effective communication. You can communicate all you want about the weather. That means nothing. You've got to have effective communication on an ongoing basis. As simple as that. And when you have this, small and premium increases are a breeze to deal with. And we talked about how planning ahead makes clients sustainable. It's about those future-based conversations. It's about checking back with them in a meaningful way about those future-based conversations that you're having and their answers, and prioritizing those answers. So when we look back at what we've done today, we've covered an awful lot. The fact of the matter is, clients are very different. No two clients are alike. Sometimes you have clients that look like this intellectual individual, and they need reams of information, and that's terrific. You've got that foundation to give them those reams of information. They want to make those analytical decisions. They want to look at things, and they want to look at things very differently than others do. But no two businesses are alike. You get clients like this, you've got to be able to deal with clients like this. And you got clients like the Wolf of Wall Street here, where they're dynamic, quick, energetic, crazy. They take their $45,000 Rolex off and throw it into the mosh pit, if you would, of brokers. These are the folks that you've got to deal with a little bit differently. They might be looking at that bottom line and in a quick email that you're sending them saying, hey, yeah, we're on budget. It's just that type of communication, but it's understanding your client and understanding what it is. If you give this Wolf of Wall Street gentleman a 25-page renewal report, he's going to throw you out of the office. And if you give this guy here a 25-page renewal report, he's going to want to read it first. Hold on a second, it's just flipping backwards here. If you give this guy the 25-page renewal report, he's going to read it first in advance. He's going to read it cover to cover, and then you're going to have an hour-and-a-half long discussion about what each thing means. But that's fine. It's about being prepared and having the appropriate discussions with your clients, because no two clients are alike. You want to deal with businesses that are open. They're open for business. As I like to say, their futures are going to be bigger than their pasts. They're open, they're in business, they're a successful business owner, and they want to buy value. So it's all about the future. It's all about having future-based conversations. It's all about risk management and having those future-based conversations so you can have a successful relationship with your client. We've talked about the first common benefit problems. We've got two other follow-up sessions. So we want you to check out the benefitstrust.com. We've got two other follow-up sessions on common benefit problems, as well as healthcare spending accounts and selling to smaller cases. Lots going on here at the Benefits Trust. Be a part of it. It's great. Check out the benefitstrust.com. Lots of videos on there, lots of information on that website. It's an incredibly valuable tool. We get constant, very positive feedback about our website. We give you permission to use it however you want to use it, and the information on there. And if you want to plagiarize it, put it on your letterhead. We're all about that as well. Don't care. We just want to give you information and tools that you can help you sell more benefits for longer periods of time at a profitable, in a profitable way to your end user clients. If you've got more than 8 or 10 people in your office and you want us to come out, we're happy to do so. We can talk about a number of different sessions. We can give you CE credits for that as well and buy you lunch, a little lunch and learn type of pizza thing. We'd be happy to do so. We're going to send you a CE certificate for participating today, so thank you very much. As well as that, you've got an opportunity to give us some feedback on future discussions that you'd like to, or future topics you'd like to see covered. And we also want to take this opportunity to thank you very much for your hour-long, or just under an hour that we spent together today. We want to take that opportunity to say thank you very much. And as well as that, to remind you that at the Benefits Trust, we don't sell direct. We sell through brokers like yourself, and we value the relationships that we have. And we greatly value the people that have participated today in our webinar. We never take that for granted, and we're going to continue to do these webinars and continue to try to do them at the best value possible. If you've got any questions, we'd be happy to discuss them offline. If you've got any ideas that you want to share and bounce around, love to do so. We just want to help you sell more insurance. It's as simple as that, and we believe that if we help you sell more insurance, we'll get our share. Again, the Benefits Trust was established close to 25 years ago. We've got a great track record, and we help keep promises that employers make to employees in a customized manner generally speaking, cheaper prices than what the insurance companies can offer. We wish you good selling. On behalf of Mike Ignatz and myself, did I leave anything out, Mike?
Nope.
Got it all covered. On behalf of Mike and myself and all of us here at the Benefits Trust, thank you for your time. Our coordinates are here. Reach out to us. We'd love to talk to you. If we're doing business, thank you for your continued business. And if we're not doing business, we'd love to do business with you. Give us a try. Reach out to us, and we'll talk at you soon. And we look forward to you participating in future webinars. Bye for now.